And we are live. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are joining us from in the world. I appreciate you for being here, whether you are already on my team, whether you are looking to get started, or you are just somebody who desires a breakthrough in their life. I appreciate you for being here. And hopefully by the end of this hangout, what you are going to experience is a breakthrough. Now, the question is, what is a breakthrough? Well, a breakthrough is not a process. It's not a prolonged some event or a thing. It is a moment in time. It is one single moment where something inside of you shifts. And all of a sudden, you begin to think differently. You begin to feel differently. And you begin to act differently. You begin to act with power and confidence and certainty and vision and belief that your future, the future that you desire, the future that you dream about is going to happen. And not that it's just going to happen out of nowhere. It's that you're going to make it happen, no matter what. That's it, period. See, the first time I experienced what I'm going to do, see, that's the thing with me. I sometimes think faster than I can talk, and you come up with Anyway, the first time I experienced what I'm about to talk to you about tonight, I was about 11, maybe 10 years old. I was in primary school. I was in 4th grade, and I just started studying English in a completely different school than I had studied up until that point. You see, up until that point, I'd been studying English for 5 years. And based on those years, I was put in a group where they thought that I would fit in, that I would be at the proper level where I could hang on with the other members of the group, but at the same time I would be stretched enough to a point where I would grow. Well, it wasn't all that rosy. In fact, my first grade, my first test in that group, the grade I received was an F. I came up 2 points short of an E, which would have been a lot better, but still massively, massively painful when you go through B's and A's to an F. You see? So the people who were in charge of that school offered me to just move down to another group where the level would be lower, where it would be easier for me to be there, where I would get better grades, where it will be easier for me to learn. But at that moment, I sat down, I lowered my head, I closed my eyes, and I said, I am not quitting. I am making it happen. That's it, period, right now. And no matter what, I will not be stopped from getting what I want. And you see, there were many times in my life after that point where I again reached the same point, a point of no return, a point where you have to make a decision, whether you march towards your vision or you run and hide. See, the industry we're part of, I believe it's a great industry. It's a really wonderful industry because what is it all about? It's about freedom, it's about lifestyle, it's about living your dreams, it's about living your life on your terms. But just like an iceberg, where what you see above the water is only 5%, and what's under the water is 95%. In this industry, the vast majority of people focus on only on that tiny little part which is above the water. They focus on the new hot deal and the new hot traffic strategy. the new hot software, the new shiny object that all of a sudden is going to create success, create money, create commissions out of nowhere with no work, with no effort, with no commitment. But what's under the water, they ignore that. They don't talk about it. So the stats are what they are in this industry. And my friend, if you are somebody who is still looking for that breakthrough, who is still looking for that first success, if you apply what you learned tonight, I truly believe that you're going to have that. Because every single time I did what I'm about to share with you, every single time, eventually, I succeeded. Eventually, I claimed my victory. Eventually, I got what I wanted. So the big question is, what is it? Well, it's a concept called being all in. And when people hear the words all in, most of the time, they think just money, owning all the products. But in reality, it's not that. That, again, is just a little part of that 5% that's above the water. You see, being all in is a mentality. It's a commitment. It's a decision that no matter what you are going through, no matter what's going on, no matter how many times you try something and you don't succeed, no matter what happens, you are going to make it happen. You are going to succeed. And like I said, there were many times in my life where I reached that point. But one of the most powerful moments came when I was about 18 years old. And I was at a competition in English, ironically enough. I was living back in Poland, and I went to this competition. I qualified for like regional competitions, which were like only in 5 places in Poland. And the people who were the best in the entire country were coming over there. But most people, when they want to do something, when they go to a competition, when they start a business, they go with a mentality of, I'll try it, I'll see if it's gonna work, yeah, I know. I mean, those guys can do it because they're special, they're talented. It was easy for them. But look at me. What can I do? What can the little me do? That's in life, not just in business. In life, in everything around us, people go into things with that mentality, and they get the results they get. But to that competition, I went with a mentality that I will win or I will die. That's it, period. I will win or I will die. So the competition was like in 2 parts. Number 1 was a written test, and 5 people who were the best in that test would qualify for a final debate. But when I was writing that test, all that was going through my mind was, I'm gonna make it, I'm gonna make it, I'm gonna make it. I could see myself winning. I could see myself getting the reward, getting the trophy, getting whatever it was, the diploma or whatever this thing was. I could see myself victorious. And you could not convince me that I was not already a winner. So the result of the test came, and I think I was number 4. So that hit me. That hit me because I realized that my final victory wasn't certain, that there was somebody who did better than me. And when you go to a competition, I mean, I love people. But when we go into a competition, if you try to take my trophy, I'll kill you. I mean, not like them. but in competition, in whatever it is that we are doing. So at that point, I asked myself the question, what can I do to guarantee victory, to guarantee success, to burn all the bridges, to cut off all sources of retreat, so that no matter what happens, no matter who that person is, no matter how good they are, I will be hungrier, I'll be more determined, and eventually I will win. So I get an idea. See, a couple of years before that, I watched a movie with my idol, Arnold Schwarzenegger. It was titled Pumping Iron, and it was a documentary about a competition that Arnold was competing in. And he told the person who interviewed him, no, it wasn't an interview. He told his biggest rival that he had already called his mother a couple of days before and said that he won. So, like a mind trick to psych out his opponent and make him less confident in himself. So I asked myself, what can I do to guarantee victory? And an idea flashed into my mind. And I went to the toilets, I loved myself better, I pulled out my phone, and I called my mother. And I said, Mom, I won. I crushed the competition. I destroyed it. Nobody could even touch me. I was that good. At that moment, when I made that decision, when I burned that bridge, something shifted. Something shifted on the inside. And all of a sudden I just knew that no matter what happened, I was going to win. Because I was going to fight and fight and fight and fight. And no matter how good those people were going to be, I was going to be better. I was going to win. That's it, period. You see, in life, in business, I'm going to tell the truth, The truth hurts. The truth hurts. But the truth will set you free. And tonight, I want you to be free. I want you to finally be free. I want to lift that cage that you've been living in. So just like an eagle, you can spread your wings and fly sky high like you're meant to. You see, in life, or in business, or whatever you're doing, you will get hit in the face. Life will give you a beating. And sometimes it will hit you so hard that you just think you can't get up, that there is no hope, that there is no more faith. And that is when the magic happens. Because when you're all in, you don't look at the circumstances. When you're all in with what you're doing, mentally, physically, emotionally, when you're all in with that, none of it matters. None of it matters. Because if there's an obstacle ahead of you, if there's a wall standing in your way, you find a door, you climb over it, you dig under it, and if none of it works, you find some dynamite and blow this shit into pieces. That's what you do. That is what you do. So, back to the competition. I had about 30 minutes until the debate happened. And what I did, I popped my earphones in, and I popped some epic music on. And I started to speak my future into existence. And I started to speak what was going to happen, exactly how this thing was going to work. And you know what? Strangely enough, as I was sitting in that chair in front of the audience, things started to happen exactly the way I wanted them to happen. I started to respond with confidence, with power, with certainty. And even more strangely enough, my competitors started behaving the way I planned them to behave. You see, most people live their life by default. They just go into life thinking that life happens to them, that some outside circumstance controls what they can or cannot do. Thinking that the outside environment or their current situation controls their future. They say, oh, I can't do that because, I don't have the time. I can't do that because I'm busy, They say, I can't do that because, I can't get to the event, it's too far. Or, I'll go to the event where I'm making some money, If you make decisions based on where you are, that is exactly where you will stay. Because what follows a decision? An action. Your decisions and your actions that you've made up until this moment got you where you are right now. So if you want to get to where you want to be, you have to start making decisions based on where you want to be. If you don't have the resources, you get the resources, you find the resources. And it doesn't matter if you don't know how you're going to get them. See, let me tell you real quickly how I got all in. It was about probably 6 months ago. At the end of 2014, I had less than $20 to my name. And the obvious choice was the reasonable choice, the smart choice, the average choice was to look at my situation and say, I can't do it. I can't get all in because look, dude, there's nothing there. There's no resources. I would do it if I had the money, but I just don't, But I made a decision that by a specific date, I was going to get the money somehow, some way. That's it, period. And you know what happened? I went from $20 in my bank account at the end of December to getting all in, which cost me $4,000 a little over a month later. And my goal was to come up with $6,000. And I was able to get $13,000. How? I have got no freaking idea. I've got no idea. Honest to God, I have no idea. If I told you the story, you would not believe me. You would say, oh, it was a coincidence. You were so lucky. You know what it was? It was faith. It was a decision. It was a commitment. It was a dream. And when you back a dream, a burning desire with enduring faith that knows no word such as impossible, that's when the miracles happen. Because the difference between the average and the great is that the great keep going when they've got nothing left in their tank. It's when they're tired. It's when they're frustrated. It's when they fall on their face every single time they try to succeed. It's when they spend their last dime. That's when they get started. That's when it's showtime, baby. Because when you can find your way out of nowhere, when you can find the energy that did not exist, when you can find the resources that were not there, that's where the magic happens. Because all of a sudden you realize that you can create whatever you want to create. Because the outside world has no control over you. Because you realize that you've got the power, to live what's in your heart and in your mind. And even when you're all in, emotionally, financially, physically, mentally, with everything you've got, life will continue to hit you in the face. Because let's say you buy a product. If you don't go through it, if you don't use it, it has no value. It doesn't matter. If you don't apply it, it still doesn't matter. You see, it's the mentality. Because all the stuff that's outside follows what's on the inside. When on the inside, you're like that rock that you will walk through walls if you have to, then the universe will start bending around you. And wins and losses come a dime a dozen. But effort, nobody can judge effort. And when you hit an oak tree 1,000 times in the exact same spot, eventually it will break. You're gonna bring it down. You're gonna claim your victory. You're gonna claim your power. You're gonna claim the victory that is yours. And isn't it amazing that I was able to go through struggling miserably trying to learn English many years ago. And now you don't even know. You can't even tell the difference. You don't even realize that I'm not a native speaker because I just talk. My English is probably better than my Polish right now. But it all started with a decision. It all started in a moment in time where I said, I will not be stopped. I will not be denied of my future. And sometimes you go after your dreams. You say, yes, I want it. I want it. I'm going to go for it. And your family gets negative. And your spouse is complaining. And your friends think you're crazy. Or some other thing happens that brings you down to the ground. But when you get up and fight, just like Rocky, the 14th round, when you get up when nobody expects you to get up, when you demand more from yourself than anyone can possibly expect, that's when you become unstoppable. That is when you step into who you really are. Because inside, you're powerful. Inside, you are great. Inside, you are capable of creating whatever you want. Because you are more powerful than you can even imagine. But sometimes we have those blocks weighing us down, pulling us down to the ground. And they limit you. They limit what you can do. You've got limiting beliefs. You've got negative people around you. You've got certain thoughts, doubts about you going on in your head. And when you remove that, all of a sudden, you step into who you really are. You see, probably, many of you watching this have been offended by what I said. And if that happened, then my mission is accomplished. Because who did I really offend? I offended the wussy inside of you. Because every single one of us has two people inside. A wussy and a badass. And only one can be in charge in one particular moment inside. I hope I pissed off your inner wussy. I hope your inner wussy wants to punch me in the face. But your inner badass, who you really are, that dude got inspired. That dude said, oh, dude, I am gonna show you. I am gonna tear it up. I hope that happened. Because I am not here to tell you what you want to hear. I am not here to tell you, oh, just buy this new software and you'll be rich tomorrow. Oh, hey, this new strategy just came out. Just do it. I would not be helping you by telling you bullshit. Because the people who told me what I wanted to hear kept me stuck at a place of mediocrity every single time. But the second somebody told me the truth, even though I did not like it, and sometimes that person was life. Sometimes life had to beat me down into the ground to realize who I really was. That was when my life changed. I'm not here to make you comfortable. I'm here to help you live your dreams. And to do that, I have to stretch you. And then you'll be able to stretch more and more and more and more and more. That's the real stuff. That's the real stuff. Because what are we doing really in this business? See, a few days ago, I heard a guy say, affiliate marketing is a process of earning a commission, blah, 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 blah. Well, maybe. What do we really do here? We don't sell products. We don't build a business. We build people. We build people. And when you build people, the people build the business. When you build people, the people sell the products. When you build people, you create dynasties. When you build people, you create empires of of dreamers, of freedom fighters, of people who will not be denied what they're truly worth. Now, is that you? Is that you? Are you the person who is ready for a breakthrough? Are you a person who is ready for something new? Are you a person who is ready to step into their power, step into their dreams? I hope you are. And I believe in you. And I believe that you will succeed. And I believe that you're going to make it. So if you're not in yet, if you're not yet part of our team, part of our movement, my friend, just get in. Just get in, because we can help you. The mentors we have here, the education we have here, this is life-changing. This can truly change your life if you let it. If you put your ego aside. If you're willing to be humble and learn and work and believe. That's when your life can change. Because if you want to just sit in your butt and do nothing and expect the success come out of nowhere, this probably isn't for you. You know, this is for the people who work hard. This is for the people who are willing to fight for what they really want in life. The people who are not willing to tolerate mediocrity any longer. The people who want to bring out the greatness within. The greatness that's inside all of us. But some of us just to forget it. Some of us just to step into it. Now, who are you gonna be? If you are ready, my friend, if you're ready for that breakthrough, what I want you to do is to get started with us. There's a button below this video. When you click it, you will see a video that will show you more about our movement, who we are, what we're doing, and how we can help you to create the life you want. Also, if you already know what we're doing and you want to just get started immediately, there's a link below the button. You can just click that, fill out the order form, and get in. If you're in, get all in. And I don't care if you don't know how you're gonna do it. Just make a decision. Make a decision that there's no going back. Make a decision to burn the bridges and say, I'm doing it, that's it, period, and it's gonna work right now because it must. See, very popular book in this industry, in the world, is Think and Grow Rich. And in that book, Napoleon Hill said, one time there was a great warrior who put his soldiers on the ship and sailed to a foreign country. They reached an island, unloaded the soldiers, unloaded the boats, and he gave an order to burn the boats. And as they were standing there watching the boats go up in smoke, he said, he turned to his soldiers and he said, now there is no going back. We win or we perish. And you know what? They won. And at that competition, I called my mom. And immediately after I hung up the phone, I said, now there's no going back. We win or we perish. I won. And every single time I did that, eventually I claimed my victory. And so can you. And so can you. And if you're in and all in, get to the event. Because events are where the breakthroughs happen. Events are where you experience your greatest shifts. Because you get around people who are living the life you want to live, who are in life where you want to be. And you realize that they are no different than you. You know, the first time I had the privilege to get around some of the people I admire, some of the athletes I admire, some of the people and some of the leaders in our movement. The first reaction was, oh my God, this guy is real. But then, as I was looking at them, as I was walking among them, I realized they are no different than me. And my belief changed. And when my belief changed, the way I acted and behaved and held myself changed. You have the power, my friend, to live your dreams. Whether or not you live your dreams eventually depends on the decisions you make, the thoughts you think, and the actions you take. Because if a strategy stops working, what do? You find a new one. When there's an obstacle standing in your way, you find a way around it, or you break it. Because when you reach a breaking point, you can break or make a decision. And when you make a decision, everything changes. Everything changes. And I hope that tonight, everything will change for you. And you might even have a dream this week where I come to you and I tell you specifically how to break through in your life. Might happen, might not. I don't know. But maybe it will. And if it does, if it will, nothing will ever be the same. Because you will not be the same. And if you are still here, I know that you've changed. I know that you are not the same as you were 40 minutes ago. Because if you were able to hear that, I know that the winner inside you is bursting with power and belief and faith. And tomorrow, or even tonight, you might not even change what you're doing, but the way you do it will change. All of a sudden, a new power will awaken inside you. And when it happens, the magic will start happening around you. And all of a sudden, your life will become magical. All of a sudden, victory will step into your life. And if it doesn't, you will step into it. Because that's what you do. That's what you do. Because that is the 95% kind of stuff. Because when you work on you, everything changes. Because it doesn't matter how perfect this strategy is. It doesn't matter how accurate a rifle is if the hand holding it is shaking. But when you are aligned with what you want and who you are, all of a sudden, even the crappiest strategies will work. Because it's how you do what you do. I believe in you, my friend, and I love you, even though I may have never met you. And I believe that you deserve to live your dreams. I believe that you deserve to have the life you want. The life you want. The life you dream about. The life you are destined to live. So my friend, if you're not in, get in. If you're in, get all in, get to the next event, because that is where the magic happens. That's it for tonight, my friend. Have a great life. Have a great night. I love you. I believe in you. I bless you. Good night.